Yeah, whenever you are, hon.
Okay, perfect. So, 1 second, I'm gonna have to delete all that. I'm Sydney Blanchard here with Team Fearless champion at the Royal Crown, and we're gonna have to start this all over. I swear. All right, stay down. You're fine.
I love it.
She's usually really good. Okay. Sorry. I have a lot of bloopers. All right. Okay. Hi, I'm Sydney Blanchard, Ambassador and CEO of Team Fearless Barrel Racing. Here we have the Royal Crown Second Division champion, Lana Randell. Lana was running a futurity horse of hers named Groupie Doll, and she actually ended up winning our championship Ride Fearless buckle by the Rowdy Rose on Groupie Doll in the second division. So tell me a little bit about Groupie Doll. Who is she by? Did you raise her? What's your program? And how was your run at the Royal Crown?
Well, Groupie Doll is a 5-year-old mare, and she is out of Foos. And unfortunately, with the Royal Crown, I was unable to run her because Foos wasn't paid into their program. So I figured we were down there. I sold a couple horses in the horse sale, and I just threw the dice on the table and entered her in the open. And it was a great experience for her and for myself as well, just getting her out there and getting her some exposure. We are getting ready to head to Alvarado and for that race. And so we're just excited to be out and about for the fraternities this year and getting a start and out of the cold and out of Colorado for a while and seeing Texas. Although I feel like the old frost has followed us through from Wyoming to Colorado to Texas.
Just following your horse trailer, like black cloud. Just like, we got you. We got your back all the way to Texas.
A little cloud just keeps coming.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a lucky cloud.
And she's pretty incredible. We're really excited for her. Groupie Doll is actually my daughter's horse. We acquired her about 2 years ago. Got her off of the track from a really good friend of ours, Mason King. He raises some really nice race horses, and really a lot of our program is based around that, is race horses that didn't end up making it on the track but showed a lot of potential, and they break hard, fast, got a good enough mind that I feel like they could go on, and we ranch on them for at least a year, or whatever we feel is fit, to where they learn how to just be horses, find their feet, get some control, and you're able to get some it kind of just change their mind up a little bit and give them something else to do for a while.
So this is really interesting. We don't have a lot of barrel horse trainers that we get to talk to that bring up track bred horses, right? Race bred horses. I love race bred horses. So me and you are going to be friends. I'm going to call you like, hey, but there's not a lot of us, and it is a completely different form of training. And let's talk a little bit about that. So when you're looking, do you go and get your horses off the track? Do you breed them and race them and then train them on the pattern? What exactly is your guys' program? What do you do? What do you want to get out there to the Team Fearless barrel racing world?
Well, I think that, as a horse person, we sometimes get stuck in a rut, and we think that there's certain breeds, certain disciplines that work and don't work. And it certainly is, there are horses that, I probably would never take on to the barrels. But as far as race horses, the number one thing is you can't teach a horse to run. And so, they got that down. Now it's just getting them to where they, you get them to collect and to think and to be able to find their footing and all of those basics. It's like you're almost taking them and starting them over from the start is what we do. My husband's incredible with that. So I'm going to keep him in my pocket. He's the one that around. He really makes my job easier as far as going on and starting these horses on the barrels with training and the foundation he puts on them. Uh, this little mare, she's drug calves, branded on her. She gathers, she sorts, and so she's pretty much done it all. There on the as far as ranch work. So I started her last year on the barrels. It was a little bit of a task. She had a lot of go. She continues. She's a happy horse and she likes to run.
Okay.
So that's been probably the thing that we've really had to just bring her down and get her to where she was paying attention and able to take the pressure, especially at these bigger rodeos. So she, where I didn't really run her a lot last year, I just took her and built that confidence and gave her the sense of safety of being at these shows.
So what is the process? You're talking about a horse that sounds like she needed to be brought back down mentally and that she took a little bit of time because she is so free running. And this sounds like a really long process, yet you are still you are half a second off the best of the best in the nation at one of the largest futurities this year in February. So how did you end up getting her to that point where she was ready to run as a futurity horse in February with all of the walls or the blocks that you had against you?
Patience. I think it's no matter, I homeschool as well, and I was a speech therapist for 10 years. And I really equate horses and children at the same level because you have to have patience and you have to give them that time and attention, and they all acquire something different to learn. And I think a lot of times we try to put these horses in our paradigm, in our box, and really we have to think outside of the box to bring out the best qualities of each of them.
I love that. So what was one of the drills? Like what would be the main drill that you used on your horse that you feel like brought her back, that collection, right? Everybody has a collection drill. Mm-hmm. And honestly, what I want to do is get your drill and present it to Team Fearless on our website and on the Facebook page of, your story and your drill. Like we need to be, bring everybody together, be a team, help each other. Let's progress the sport as a whole, right? Instead of just a bunch of women competing against each other. So we're a team, right? Let's help each other out. And what it sounds like to me is that you have a brilliant program. You guys are in Wyoming. You raise or get horses off the track. You raise them by awesome stallions. You obviously have some great brood mares that you guys ran in the past. Your husband breaks them and you train them. And now you're out there kicking ass and taking names at the top 40 races in the nation. So it's pretty impressive.
And that's, I think it's just, you hit the nail on the head. There's a lot of great trainers out there, and I'm just a needle in the haystack, more or less. And I think we can learn from each other. I've had help with the cowgirls and the cowboys and the cattle women and cattle men in my life that have helped me and gave me a lot of great tools. My husband probably being the top person that I rely upon, and the racetrack breeders and learning what works, what's some great crosses, with Mason King being one of them, and Jim Markham. And I just got to go see my friend Royce Rogers yesterday. And these gentlemen, these friends, I think being able to just listen and learn and watch, you can gain so much from other individuals of what tools work best with what horses. And with Dolly, it was a lot of walking. We walked the barrels a lot, and we did a lot of slow work. And anytime we were out in the pasture, we used yucca as barrels. We did just about anything that I could think of just to bring her down and to give her the confidence that going slow is okay. And we don't have to go 9-0 all the time, because I knew the speed was there. So I didn't actually run her for the good portion of her beginning training, because I just knew it was there. It was no need to.
That has to give you confidence. I feel the same way when we get horses off of the track. I know that the speed's there because as trainers, our time is worth the same. Right.
Absolutely.
And so you have to put the same amount of time into each horse, whether it's going to be, the local ladies gymkhana horse, or it's going to be a top of the line elite athlete. Our time is worth the same. So it is really nice to knowingly start with the speed, because you know that if you put your time into it and you are patient enough, it will come.
Now, I'm not going to discredit the cow horse, because I love me a good cow horse.
I am. I'm like, no, let's just stop there. We're just getting it there.
Having one right around and slide around the barrel is pretty phenomenal as well. So, and it's fun doing what we do. We get to see a lot of different breeds and disciplines. And, we even have had a couple cutting horses that have been really fun to train and ride. So, and some of the race horses, we had one that decided she wanted to be the ranch horse, and probably ended up being my husband's best ranch horse. So that's a fun thing. It's just seeing, how different they are, and bringing out the best qualities of each one.
Placing them. So let's talk a little bit more about your breeding program. So I chatted with you and I saw that you had your Dash to Fame in the sale. I'm like, oh my gosh, she literally drove right by my house. I am a sucker for Dash to Fames. He was super cute, nicely bred, out of a Frenchman Sky mare. And then he was one of the high sells at the Royal Crown. So let's talk about him and that journey and what you guys do to prepare them for a sale. I know I'm chatting a lot, but I want to also point out that how phenomenal your horses did look. You are from Wyoming. It is super cold. You obviously do a ton of groundwork. He was super chill. All your horses that you had in the sale were super chill, and they really performed great.
Thank you. We sure love our horses, and they're like family to us in a sense. I guess me, and particularly my husband, maybe not so much, but I think my family sometimes thinks I spend more time with them than them particularly. But so that is he's out of our Frenchman's Guy mare. I actually she's 6 this year, and we're going to take her and breed her to our PYC Paint Your Wagon, and ended up just having some things occur during the breeding season. And so I, once again, just threw the dice out there and said, I think she's phenomenal. She's great-minded, and she has been nothing but. My girl's rider, she's a multi-event. She's actually, I ran her last year and she did really good in the barrel pin, really push style type of horse. And she's actually going to roping training this year. I love that PYC mare that lineage came back, her great dam. And once again, just good-minded, really athletic, agilic. Her feet just glided. And so that's really what we look for, is that confirmation, but more so that mind and discipline. And I love me a good mare. That's really what I look for when we breed. We're not big breeders, but when we breed, we really look at that mare power, and then try to cross it with a really nice stallion. Of course, you can't go wrong with Dash to Fame. And so that's my guy, is famous, and he is so sweet, and we just love him. So I'm going to go ahead and go on with him.
Oh, okay.
And I get to fraternity on him.
Oh,
and
yay.
so we're, and never know, Maya might step out there too. He's kind of one of those that's got that mind. And so we're really excited about him. See their future.
That's very cool. So what is your process when you are getting them ready for a sale? why do you feel that yours really stood above some of the other horses that were there? You're obviously spending a lot of time preparing for it.
Well, I think just that you just said it, the time. You have to invest a lot of time in them, groundwork, exposing them to almost everything, making sure, at an early age, we start with halter breaking, but also we like them to get out and be a horse as well. We have a couple really nice older geldings that do some of that, you know, training for us, and they get that pecking order, and they learn, just to not be so pushy, and
Okay.
that they kind of stay out of your bubble, and they, we like to use different tools. And
Yeah, no, that's interesting. So to clarify, just so I understand and don't do something I shouldn't, are you saying that you just you turn them out with certain horses and then
yeah.
they kind of train them like to stay out of
Mhm.
your space? Wow, I love that.
Exactly. And if you watch a herd of horses, they do that naturally. You have your more dominant horses and then those that aren't.
Mhm.
But you definitely don't want to have one that's going to be mean in a sense. And so a lot of times those good old geldings, they know that the feed pan is theirs, and not to mess with them, but and also they don't push around, and learn any bad habits as well, and learning how to get in and out of sheds when it's storming.
Mhm.
I mean, there's just so many different good qualities that they can learn from a good horse.
I love that you say that because truly people think I'm crazy, right? When I say it, but I always try to I have my original horses, right? My original fearless horses is what I call it. But I'm down to one that I've had, I had in high school almost. And
Look at that.
I truly believe, though, I notice a huge difference when I turn my colts that I'm training out with my good horse. It's almost like they're preparing them,
Mhm.
mentally, and they start mirroring their actions. And I can turn them out with them and then go get back on them a couple weeks later, and they're like a whole new horse. And
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like they talk to each other. I really do, just in that sense, and not just teaching each other things. But so it's super interesting that you
100%.
said that. Yeah.
I agree 100%. Yeah.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and show your video. It is a little blurry, but go ahead and walk us through it. And I just want to get out there to everybody. What happened is your horse lost its footing in the slot race the day before. And then you come out here and you actually are, just right there in the 2D against the best in the nation. And how did you mentally prepare yourself and mentally prepare your horse for a run after falling down?
You know, this little mare, she, like I said, she likes to run. So my goal was just to set her up to be successful, kind of let her just find her speed and what she was comfortable doing. I didn't get an exhibition at all on her. And so for her to go out there and handle the pressure and do what she did, I couldn't have been more thrilled with her. She hammered her first. She kind of did. That ground was a little different than anything we've ran in Colorado and Wyoming. We get a little bit more sand base in that area. This is more clay, and so it's a little stickier, a little harder, and something just that she hasn't been exposed to.
Mhm.
And so she got a little bit probably more high-headed and stiffer than she normally would. But once again, I feel like she still got through it incredibly well, and I'm really excited again for to see what she does here this week. And I think the ground crew there at Royal Crown, they did a wonderful job, Lindsay, and I'm just grateful for the great race and the opportunity to be there and to be down here. And it was a fun experience for my girls and myself all together, and to be part of.
It's funny that you said that about the ground because it's nothing against any of the producers in Texas, any of the ground crew. They do their best, but there is something to say for the name of Texas ground, and it is sticky, right? It's a little bit stickier. It doesn't have as much slide, and definitely coming from the rodeo atmosphere, part of things, you know, rodeo ground, it has a lot of slide to it. So I always try to take a horse that I know will, you know, be okay in that sticky type ground in Texas. So it's funny that you said that. Watching your video, this mare is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, she, like you said, she didn't have an exhibition. She might have been a little bit high-headed. She had fallen down the day before. She comes in here, makes mistakes, right? And I hate to say that, but I'm about to give you a compliment. Makes mistakes and clocks. And I feel like when I'm personally looking for that champion of a horse, I want a horse just like that. I want to watch a horse make mistakes and clock. I don't want to have a perfect run in order to be there with the, you know, be in the pack.
Yeah.
Is that something that's important?
Absolutely. I agree. And I think that's that heart component, finding one that has the heart and the desire to do it. It's you can't instill that.
We're just going to go over your video one more time. I didn't have the screen shared, so I'm going to play this. I'm going to play your video, talk us through it a little bit again, and then that way everybody could kind of watch it.
This mare, she tends to really do well working on the right barrel. So I ended up taking her to the left. And you can see she did really well coming around here. She got stiff right there. So she's almost anticipating that fall that she had the day before. And then she just hammers that third. She loves to run home. So she gets excited about that third.
Yeah.
That she can open right back up. And she does. She really clocks well coming home. And that's probably one of her favorite things is that run home. So
this is a cool horse to watch run home. And like we were chatting about earlier, it's really fun to watch a horse make mistakes and still clock. And that's what you want when you're looking for a champion horse, is something that can make mistakes and clock. And you don't have to be perfect on every time in order to be in the pack. So you're saying right here is where she fell the day before.
Yeah, she fell the day before, right on that back, going into that second. And you could see it was like she almost anticipated it. And so she got real stiff and just threw herself off, and you can see she takes a couple steps off the back side of that, but really recovered well.
Well, you're right there, you know, half a second off of the best, and I'm super excited to watch you run on a standard pattern. It'll be really interesting to see how you do at Alvarado. You have a little bit more of a run home, and she'll really be able to stride out because she's not even tapping into her third and fourth gear there on the way home. I mean, she's really getting it. She's starting to stride out, and you're like, man, that horse is fast, and you're already having to pull her up. So it'll be really interesting to watch you guys this weekend at the Gennaro Dash in Alvarado. So just real quick, I want to chat a little bit about what does, you know, riding fearless mean to you? Right now, you are currently in the lead for the national year-end championship second division award. And that's the top in the nation, right? The top 40 races in the nation. Is this going to push you to enter more of the top 40 races and hoping to grasp that national title?
Well, it's always exciting to win. I mean, that's what we do. You know, in barrel racing or competition, you always want to win. But you know, in a sense, absolutely. Where I'm excited for this new program, Sydney. It has the clout and everything that you really had set this basis. The Team Fearless is really neat, and excited to hear more of your story as well. And that, I think that just being able to ride fearless, being able to enter these races and to show off Dolly, and I have another first down dash filly next year that'll be coming up, and you know, it gives these younger horses the opportunity to win and to do well in the competition stage, where sometimes they do. It's kind of like going on the interstate with a pickup that the power steering's going out on it. Sometimes things just don't always come together, and you gotta hope for the best, but expect that they are young, and mistakes are going to probably happen. And so it's fun to see how their growth is, and having a program like this is really fits what I do really well. And I'm excited to be chatting with you today and telling you about Dolly and our program and horses. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Team Fearless is all about bringing everybody together, understanding what your programs are, being a team, helping the other racers really progress, and just kind of, share that love for the sport and progress it as much as possible. So, I mean, you guys vote in the top 40 races in the nation, and you're headed to 2 in 1 week. You're just at the Royal Crown, and now you're headed to Alvarado. Are you going to the Patriot?
I'm not going to go to Patriot this year.
Okay, headed home.
We'll give her a little bit of time to get some more competitions and some experience under her belt. And I do want to share this. My Dolly is actually my daughter's Maya's. She's going to get upset with me if I don't mention that. So she is actually the owner and I'm the rider. And so really what I've done with Dolly is I'm really setting her up to go on to be my daughter's horse. And so I'm really excited. She's such a great little rider, and it'll be fun to see their future together. So I just get her for a little bit of time, and then I get to go on. And like I said, I have a first down dash, own daughter first down dash in out of a Trace Ace that'll be coming up next year. So I'm really excited about her. And so
definitely have this speed behind your belt. So
yeah, we'll see where it takes us.
what's really cool about the Team Fearless national titles, as well as the regional titles, is that the jockeys are awarded separately from the horse owners. So even though you rode Dolly at the Royal Crown, her statistics are now going to be saved. And if Maya ends up running her at the rest of the races this year, that still counts for the horse's national title. And then of course, anything that you run is going to count for your jockey, best in the nation jockey national title. So, everybody kind of wins with Team Fearless. And I also want to put out there, you guys, that Maya is an inspirational speaker. She has a really cool story. We'll touch base with her another time, and you guys will be able to hear her entire Fearless story. And thank you so much for riding Fearless with us.
Thanks, Sydney. Thanks for the opportunity and all that you do. It's like you said, you're supporting us and others that enjoy the sport as well, and we appreciate that.
Well, you guys deserve it. So I'll see you at the next race.
Thanks, Sydney.